of texture and look on a... Oops. Okay, I just dropped the camera, sorry.
Hi guys, welcome to episode number 38 of the Happy Knitting Podcast. My name is Julia and I'm coming to you today from Germany on Monday the 16th of May. I'm confused because today is a Monday but it's a public holiday because of Pentecost, and public holidays always kind of throw me out. So thank you so much for watching. If you're watching for the first time, I'm so glad that you're here and I hope that you like it and might become a subscriber. And if you're coming back every week, then thank you so much. I love all of you guys who come back every week and who participate on the Ravelry group or on Instagram or send me messages or whatever. I really appreciate that. Let's be honest, I have recorded half of the episode with great difficulty already. I feel like I'm saying the same thing every week, but that's because my camera crashes every single week. But yeah, I'm starting over and I'm hoping that this time it'll go smoother and it'll work out. So today we will talk about the winners of the Crazy Color Cow, a finished object, works in progress, spinning / fiber prep, acquisitions, I have an ask away, and then life in general. We have a knit along that ended on last Friday, which was the 13th of May. And that's the Crazy Color Cow, and that was a knit along for anything colorful, stripy, rainbowy, neon-y, anything out of your usual color range. And thank you so much to everyone who participated. It was so much fun and very inspiring to me. And the threads are still on Ravelry, so if you want to have a look, you can still do that. And yeah, I really enjoyed it so much. So we have prizes to give away. And I already drew these prizes on random.org. I hope you guys trust me. And let me just have some coffee before I announce them. So this is my new mug. I have two of these in different designs and I thought they were really cute. And actually my sisters gave them to me for my birthday. So the first prize was from lovely Jenny of All About Yarn. So thank you, Jenny, for donating the prize. And it's this super cute Japanese, what's it called? Handle? Japanese knot bag, they're called, with these elephants and bunting, and yeah, it's just adorable. And you don't only get the bag, you also get a beautiful skein of mini skeins from All About Yarn. So she sells yarn and fiber and also project bags and stitch markers. And you get... Here's a card and it has a lovely little progress keeper on it as well. Oops. All About Yarn on Etsy. So this prize package goes to Yarn Poetry, who is Sarah from Germany. So thank you for participating and let me know that you've seen this and I will send this out to you. The second prize is one that I don't have here to show you because it is one skein of your choice of yarn from OMG Yarn and Fiber on Etsy. And yeah, like it says, you can choose whatever yarn and colorway and base you want, and G will send it straight to you with a little surprise as well. So I think that's a pretty cool prize. Thank you, G, for offering it up. And that prize goes to Dueling Needles, who is Rhonda from Pennsylvania. So thank you so much for participating and congratulations, Rhonda. Again, get in touch with me and then I will put you in touch with G and you guys can figure everything out. And the third prize is this amazing skein of sock yarn from Gibot Garne, who is a German indie dyer. Colorway is Pink Elephant on their bot sock base, and you also get this adorable little neon mini skein, so you can knit heels and toes in this pink if you want to. Or of course you could always put it into some kind of sock yarn blanket. This amazing prize goes to Weeping Wool, who is Sue from Manchester in England. So congratulations, Sue, and thank you to Natalie for donating this awesome prize. So all of you winners, please just get in touch with me through Ravelry My username is Wupfi, which is WUEPFI. And you can always find me in the group, which is the Happy Knitting Podcast group, if that's easier. The reason why my username is Wupfi, I will explain a little bit later, by the way. So yeah, thank you to everyone who donated a prize, and thank you to everyone who was in the Finished Objects thread and the chatter thread. I loved how you guys were cheering each other on, and I just got so much inspiration and happiness out of that knit-along. So yeah, seriously guys, thank you so much for everyone who participated. Talking about knit-alongs, I wasn't going to have a knit-along for a while, but I recently wrote a new pattern, which is the one I'm wearing right now. And by now it actually has a name. It's called the Squishalicious shawl, because that just makes sense. It's very, very squishy. And so as soon as I release that pattern, I will have a knit-along for this pattern as well as the Crazy Days shawl, which is my first ever shawl design, which I didn't have a knit-along for. So I was going to release the pattern in mid-June, but my testers are being super, super fast, so it might actually happen sooner. But as soon as I know when I release the pattern, I will figure out the dates for the knit-along, and I will definitely give away a couple of copies of the pattern for you guys to get you started. So we already have a prize for that knit-along, which is coming this week, I think, and I will show that to you next week. So thanks again, you guys, and I will move on to finished objects. My finished object for this week is a pair of socks. As usual, I didn't think I would have them finished, but I had more knitting time than I thought I would. The yarn is from Piratenwolle. And lots of you guys have been asking about this yarn, so I'll give you a little review of it in a second. This is the basic sock yarn, and I knit a pair of very speckly blueberry waffle socks, and this is the first time I actually knit the blueberry waffle pattern. So this is what they look like. I knit them concurrently, so I knit them on 2 sets of DP ends at the same time from the same cake of yarn. So I knit one sock from the inside and one from the outside, which honestly wasn't a great idea. I only did that because my battery from my scale was empty, and I didn't want to just guess how much yarn would be in each cake. So anyways, these are the socks. I really, really like them. It's my first time knitting the pattern, and I quite enjoyed it. I think they will be very well-fitting socks, I think, because it's kind of like a half rib. It'll be nice and stretchy, and that would be a good pattern for gift socks as well, because I think it'll be a little bit easier to fit these. I knit them on 64 stitches. I did a 2x2 rib, and then 80 rows of the blueberry waffles pattern, and then I did a fish lipscus heel and a rounded toe, and obviously I did not knit the pattern on the bottom of the foot. So I really like how the colors and the speckles are coming out. I really, really enjoyed this. And I used 2.25mm DPNs. I used one set of Knit Pro Zings, which I really, really enjoy, and another set of Higher Sharps, which again, I do enjoy. So about the yarn, I don't know why you guys were so interested in it. I guess it's very inexpensive, and she has really, really great colors. I will say that the sock base is very, very sturdy, so I would compare that to like an Opal or a Regia. But I really, really like it. I think those will last very long. They'll be very, very good to wear. So if you don't mind your socks to be a little bit more sturdy and hard wearing, I would really recommend you get some. I only ordered one skein to start with because I was somehow apprehensive about it, but I really like this yarn, and I actually really want to buy some more. So yeah, that's my only finished object for this week. And this is what the yarn that I have left over looks like. It looks a bit funny because, like I said, I knit from the inside and the outside of the cake at the same time. But that's plenty to put into my blanket and still make some minis. So I will move on to works in progress. First of all, again, let me show you my blanket. This is what the whole thing looks like at the moment, and I can't see if you can see it. And this week I added 6 squares. So the first one I added was this pink speckled one from All About Yarn, which I really love. This was a mix of yarns because my judgment of how much yarn I need to make a square was very much off. So the red is Knit Picks Troll and the green is some leftovers of Knit Picks Felici, which I also got as a mini skein. This one I actually don't know what it is, but it's really pretty. This pink one is a Regia mini. This one again, I don't know what it is, but I really like it. And this yellow mini skein is from Bärenwolle. I have a crazy amount of Bärenwolle minis in my blanket. Again, this, which hasn't really been done much. This is also Bärenwolle in her Christmas colorway from last year. So all you guys keep giving me Bärenwolle mini skeins, and I love every single one of them, so I finally caved, and as my own birthday present, I used some of my birthday money to order some Bärenwolle for myself, because I love German indie dyed yarn, and yet I have never actually owned any Bärenwolle. So anyways, that's my blanket. I haven't knit on it that much this week, but I am looking forward to sitting down tonight and knitting some more on it. My next work in progress is my Robin sweater, which is living in this bag from Julie of Diary of a Yarn Snob. I've actually attached those little scissors that I got last week to this project bag, and they are super handy. And my Robin sweater, it's a pattern by José Paquin, I would pronounce it. I'm not quite sure. It is Paquin. And it is a sport weight sweater, but I am knitting it in lace weight yarn. So that's kind of interesting. The yarn I am using is BC Gun Simila Extra Fino. And I have 4 50-gram skeins, so I'm not quite sure if I have enough yarn. I'm definitely playing yarn chicken. But this is what it looks like. It's a top-down sweater with a lot of short rows in the beginning, and it's pretty hard to show you guys because I haven't separated for the sleeves yet. It's also my second time only that I'm knitting a sweater top-down, so I'm still a little bit unfamiliar with everything. But as you can see, I started my 3rd color, so last week I was where the stitch marker is. So I've knit a little bit. It doesn't look like very much, but those rows are really long now. So it actually takes me quite a while to knit one row. The 4th color, which I haven't used yet, is this color. And like I said last week, I didn't purchase these yarns to necessarily go together, but I think they'll work just fine. And I really just wanted to have another lace weight oversized sweater. I don't know why. Right now I'm just in a lace weight sweater and cardigan kind of mood. So I'm already planning my next featherweight, even though I only finished my last one like a week ago. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying the yarn. And the needles I'm using are 3.5mm Adi lace needles. So yeah, that's my sweater. I'm really taking my time with this. I have no rush to finish this. Then, excuse my mess here. I have a pair of socks which is living in this bag from Connie, who is Chili Knits, and she sells yarn and project bags. And she gave me this project bag together with the yarn, so obviously these socks have to live in this project bag. And these are the socks that I'm talking about. These are socks in Manos del Uruguay in their Alegria base. So the tag is this one, Manos del Uruguay Alegria in the colorway A9452, which is a superwash merino and nylon blend, but it's really soft. So I'm knitting the pinstriped sock pattern by Julia Swart, which is S-W-A-R-T. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's essentially just these slip stitches. It's a really nice look on a variegated or speckled sort of yarn. So last week, let me show you. Sorry, I have a bit of a mess going here. Last week I was where the stitch marker is, which is also from Connie. So as you can see, I finished the cuff and put in a fish lips kiss heel, which looks like this. And now I'm knitting on the foot, and I'm knitting the back in stockinette because it just makes sense to only have the pattern on the front of the sock. So as you can see, I'm knitting them 2 at a time on higher sharps, 2.25 millimeters on a 100 centimeters or 40-inch cable. I really love these needles. I think they're my favorite needles for 2 at a time socks. Even though I'm finding that at the moment I enjoy knitting on DPNs more than I enjoy knitting on 2 at a time socks. But yeah, I'm going pretty well with these, I think. I would like to have them finished pretty soon, but we'll see. And my next work in progress is one that you haven't seen before. So I decided that I want to knit more socks for other people, just because there's a few people who want socks, including my boyfriend, who constantly and always wants socks, which is nice because he's become very knit-worthy, but I complain about it sometimes. Anyways, so there's a pair of socks that I want to knit for my sister. There's 2 pairs of socks for my boyfriend that want to be knit, and he already ordered the yarn. And I also want to knit some socks for my boyfriend's mum because she's been very supportive and actually gave me yarn, and yeah, she would really like it. And I know she would appreciate it. Excuse me. So yeah, my idea was to always knit on 1 pair of socks for myself and 1 pair as a gift. So yeah, I should have cast on a pair for a gift, obviously, but I was just feeling a little, I don't know. It's just been a bit of a shitty week, to be honest. Excuse the language. So I decided last night that I need a happiness cast on for myself. Just some plain vanilla socks in a yarn that I really love, rather than socks that are for someone else, so it feels like sort of, you know how gift knitting sometimes can be a bit stressful. So I did a selfish cast on last night, and I cast on my beautiful sock blank from Sarah's Texture Crafts. So this is what the sock blank looks like. I put a stitch marker in the middle of it so I know how much yarn I can use for each sock. It's a single strand sock blank. So I'm knitting the socks 1 at a time. And the label I can show you here. It's her standard sock base, which is a merino nylon blend. And this was from her color club that she has every quarter. It's just called color number 9. So yeah, a sock blank, you essentially wind off the yarn and knit from it right from the knit fabric, and that creates a really interesting sort of color and texture, I guess. So as you can see, the yarn that I'm knitting at the moment, it's very tangly, but it's fine once you knit it, because when you knit you straighten it like this anyways. And the texture in the beginning is a little bit funny, but once you block these socks or just wash them, it'll be fine. So I haven't done very much because I only cast this on last night, but I did 20 rows of 1 by 1 twisted rib. And when I say twisted rib, I only twist the knit stitches, and I just normally knit the purl stitches. And as you can see, it's a little bit wonky, but like I said, that'll be fine once I block it. And I've just started the stockinette section, but you can't see very much. I'm really enjoying these. I'm knitting these again on DPNs. These are the higher sharps. They are very sharp, especially like, I thought that the DPNs, it might be a little bit weird that they're sharp in comparison to the magic loop version of the circular needles. But I'm really liking them, and I just really wanted a stockinette sock so I can read while I knit, because that's something I've really enjoyed lately. But then because I've been knitting pattern socks, you can still read, but it's just a little bit more difficult, and yeah, I just wanted some stockinette in my life. So that's it for my works in progress. And I will move on to spinning and fiber prep, but only very quickly. So if you're a knitter and you don't like spinning, don't worry, it won't be too long. But first of all, let me show you my finished objects for spinning, or my so-called finished objects. This one was finished last week, but I hadn't wound it off and measured it or soaked it or anything. So just to show you again, this was a Massa Merino Mulberry Silk and Shimmer blend from Fondant Fiber. And there goes my camera. Sorry about that. I was saying right now I really like to spin more thick and fluffy yarns, because for a while I was spinning sock yarn and that takes a long time, and sometimes I really like it, but sometimes it doesn't bring me joy. So yeah, this is pretty thick. I did a 2-ply and I have 152 meters of yarn in this skein. So I think it'll be very fluffy for like a hat or something. And it has a nice texture because there's lots of different fibers in here, and it's not super even, but I really like it. So that's my first finished object, I guess. Even though this week all I did was wind it and measure it and throw it into water. And then last week I was spinning a merino bobbin, or a merino braid, from back then what I thought was mystery fiber, which turns out it is from Blumenschaf, and they have a website, and it's the cheapest fiber that I've ever seen online. So if you're interested, you might want to check it out. I will try to find the link, but I ordered it a while ago and I actually completely forgot about it, and I feel like I have fiber in my face. So anyways, this is 100% merino, and I did a 3-ply, and it's turned into this super squishy, soft and round sort of 3-ply yarn. It's only 122 meters, which isn't that much, but I really like spinning this kind of stuff at the moment. I really enjoy it. And I really like the colors. They're kind of heathered. And yeah, I am very happy with that. I hope you can see that. So that's my spinning. Oh no, hang on, it's not. I also got out my drop spindle and spun a tiny sample that I had from Nunoko on Etsy. It was a sample, so I don't actually know what's in it, but I just had some fun. It felt like it was silk and merino, but it might have been something like milk fiber or something like that as well, because I know that they do that. But I just spun it into singles and fooled them slightly, and yeah, nothing super exciting. I just had some fun. And then I got my blending board for my birthday. So I got the Louis blending board, which I think is made in the Netherlands, right? And I'm really happy with it. I went with that one because for me the Ashford and the Louis have about the same price. But I heard mixed reviews about Ashford regarding their customer service. So I went with Louis and I really like it. So yesterday I started making row legs, and the first row legs I made were not very good, so I decided to spin them. So this was just some merino fiber, also from Blumenschaf. No, actually it was merino and bamboo. And it had a really interesting color combination of pink, yellow and green, and as you can see, turning those into row legs was probably not a great idea because I blended the colors together and they created this sort of very interesting but maybe a bit weird color. But as you can see, I spun them into very uneven singles, and I'm probably just going to Navajo ply this and have a very squishy sample yarn. This is only like less than 50 grams, maybe 30 or 40 grams. And then what I did once I figured out the basics of making row legs was I used this fiber together with some Corriedale I had, so just white Corriedale, and I blended these row legs. So I have about 130 grams of Corriedale, Merino and Bamboo blend here. And you can see with the Corriedale, which was just white, it really just kind of evened out the colors, and I really like the sort of look and texture I got. I'm really happy with that. And yeah, I've really enjoyed making these. So for me, the first experience on a blending board was really interesting because I only had seen some videos on YouTube, but then doing the thing yourself, like loading the blending board, even though it's not hard, you kind of have to get used to it. But yeah, I had some fun yesterday. I was like playing with my new toy and I really enjoyed it. And I used this fiber just because it was cheap fiber to practice, and I actually don't have that much fiber, which is suitable for blending. So I have ordered quite a bit of just, different colors of merino, and I want to get some Angelina and stuff like that, and then make more usable Rolex. But I mean, these can be used for a project. I think they're quite nice. And with 130 grams, you can do a relatively good size spinning project, I guess. And that's also what I really like is with blending, you can obviously use different fibers and use up some of the fibers that you might have. So the Corriedale was from when I started spinning like a year ago. And there's no way I was just going to, spin up some white Corriedale just because I think that would have been too boring for me. And I need color in my life in order to keep me entertained, but it was a really good use of that fiber. So that's it for spinning and fiber prep. I hope that didn't take too long. And I will move on to acquisitions. And I only have one acquisition this week. Besides my blending board, that is, but I'm not going to bring that over unless you guys have questions about it, I guess. But my boyfriend gave me a skein of yarn, amongst other things, for my birthday. And I will show you the paper first because look at the wrapping paper. I got sheepies because I love sheep. I actually had an obsession with sheep before I even started knitting, but I thought it was so cute, and so I kept it. And the yarn that I got is again in a Ziploc bag because I'm still a little bit paranoid about moths. But it is from Frau Odersocke in the colorway Fliederbeeren, and the tag looks like this. Frau Odersocke on Davanda, and I will link it in the show notes because it's a little bit hard to find, I guess, if you're not a native German speaker. This is just her 75-25 sock yarn, 420 meters, and I really like the color. I like squishing yarn in my face, and I think I mentioned before I used this yarn to knit my boyfriend's socks, which was the first time I used it, and again, this is a very affordable yarn and I really quite liked it. So now I have another skein in my stash and I really like the colors. I was actually looking at colors with him to pick out yarn for his socks, and he remembered that I liked the skein and I completely forgot about it, so that was a nice surprise. So that's my only acquisition for this week. So I will move on to the Ask Away and Life section of my podcast. So if you're only here for the knitting, then I'll just quickly tell you where you can find me. You can find me on Ravelry as Wupfi, WUEPFI. And you can find the Ravelry group as the Happy Knitting Podcast group. And you can find me on Instagram as the Happy Knitting Podcast. So if you don't want to stick around, then I hope you have a great week and I will see you next week. If you do want to stick around, first, before I talk about life in general, I will answer a question that came up this week. So, for Ask Away, a viewer of the podcast asked me what is the story behind Wupfi, which is my Ravelry name. And I was kind of waiting for that question to pop up because it is a bit of a weird name. And the short version is it doesn't mean anything in German. There's no real meaning. But instead, it is a long story about car number plates. So I don't know if this is interesting to you guys, but I just try to explain it because I think it's quite funny. So in Germany, on our number plates, the first two letters are to do with the city or the region in which you register your car. So if you're in Munich, your first letter on your number plate will be an M. And because I live in Würzburg, here most cars drive with WU or sometimes you can spell it U and E because we don't have the letter U in English, which is the U with the 2 dots. Anyways, and I think it all started when my boyfriend kept calling my car Anjip because my letters on the number plates are AN and then JP for my first and last name and then a number, which I won't tell you guys. So he started calling my car that, and his car has a really funny name as well. And so, because we were living in Würzburg, we started looking at number plates and thinking about which combinations we thought were funny. And my favorite combination was always WU, so the UE, PF, because Wipf just sounds really funny to me in German, and that might just be me being weird. So somehow the name Wipfi evolved, and when it came to registering a username for gaming, back when my boyfriend was trying to get me into playing League of Legends, I'd used that name because obviously I didn't really care about my username. So that's how Wipfi started to exist. And then when Ravelry came along, at some point I registered on Ravelry, but I think like a lot of people, I didn't really give it much thought because I didn't think about the community aspect. That was when I wasn't knitting very much, and I really didn't think it mattered. So my Ravelry name was Wipfi, and I actually thought about changing it, but I can't change it to the Happy Knitting Podcast because it's too many letters. So no matter how I change it, I didn't find any good combination, so that's kind of just why I left it. So yeah, that's the origin of my Ravelry name, which is pretty weird, and it's going to be even weirder now that we're moving away. So I will never have a car with Wipf or Wipfi as a number plate. But yeah, that's the story behind that. And sorry if that was super boring for you guys. It's kind of hard to explain, and I guess it only makes sense if you're actually part of the story, but you're not. Anyways, I will move on to life in general. The big thing, last week I told you about the moths that we had. We had clothes moths, the one that eat wool. And we got rid of them, I think. We finally, I haven't seen any in a long time, which makes me very, very relieved. And I said last week I bagged all my stash into Ziploc bags, but now I'm starting to be a bit less paranoid and I feel more safe leaving some of my knitting out here. So yeah, that's pretty good news. Besides that, I had a bit of a setback with my thesis this week. So for those of you who haven't watched before, I'm working on my psychology master's thesis. And yeah, it's no one's fault really, but it just seems like the regulations had changed, and I was actually ready to start my survey, which I've been, preparing and programming and everything for the last 2 months. And then I found out that I need a second supervisor, which I knew before, but I found out that he has to be a professor. That wasn't in any of the legal documents or anything required that state what has to be needed, but rather someone from the psychology faculty of my university just decided to write that as a new requirement onto their homepage, and apparently it's a case of if they say they want something a certain way, you just have to do it. So that meant that rather than moving on with my survey and getting everything going, I had to find a professor who is willing to be a second supervisor next to my standard supervisor, I guess. And that means that instead of moving forward, I had to rewrite my expose or like my proposal, and I need to hand that in, and then I need to present what I want to do, and I need to do all of that before I can really start it. So yeah, it kind of felt like 10 steps back, which was a bit disappointing, but it's not really anyone's fault. I couldn't have known, and there's nothing I can do about it, so I just need to move on, and yeah. But yeah, it's been a bit annoying. Besides that, I had a pretty good week. I had my birthday on Friday, which was super, super nice. I got presents from my boyfriend in the morning, and we went out for a little breakfast. And then we drove home to my hometown and had lunch with my family and coffee, and we stayed for 3 days actually, which is something I never do. We stayed for 2 nights, and it was really, really nice. We did lots of nice things. For example, my sisters and I watched Harry Potter. So we've been in a Harry Potter phase for a long time. Especially my youngest sister is a huge fan, and so am I. And I actually got my boyfriend into Harry Potter as well. So we've been rewatching all the movies while at the same time I'm rereading all the books. Um, on Saturday morning, together with my sisters and my mum, we went to a lotus garden, which was some Chinese, I think Japanese style gardens. And I had never been there before. They're actually really close to my hometown. And you just walk around and there is little lakes and like it was just really, really beautiful. And I'll try to insert some pictures in the end rather than talking about it too much now because I think it'll just make a lot more sense if you just see the pictures. But yeah, and we had coffee there and it was really, really lovely. And then on Saturday, I also met up with a friend from high school who I hadn't seen in years, and it was really nice to catch up with him. Yeah, just lots of family time and time with, friends and everything. So yeah, it was a really, really nice birthday. And then yesterday we drove back here to Würzburg. And today my boyfriend actually left to Munich because he is starting his new job tomorrow. So he is crazy, crazy excited and also pretty scared, I think, which is understandable. I'm a little bit nervous for him as well, but I'm super happy for him. He really got his dream job and I think he will be great. And yeah, it's really good. So that's what's been happening. It's been a little crappy sometimes this week. I don't know. Sometimes I just frustrate myself, and then when things don't work out, for example, my thesis, I find it hard to let go. Sometimes everything just gets a little bit too much, and I try to overthink things, and I lie awake at night and worry about things that you can't really change anyways. So in that respect, it's been a little tough. It's been a bit up and down, but in the big scheme of things, everything is going well. It's been a shame that the weather has been so bad because it's the middle of May and I was planning to have a big barbecue in the garden, but instead it was like 12 degrees and raining. So we had to cancel that. And I think it's also that, like just the weather being so gray and cold and you can't go outside has just kind of been affecting my mood a little bit. But yeah, now that my boyfriend is gone, that means I have lots of time on my hands. And I will obviously try to work much or work a whole lot, but I'm sure you all know how it is if your partner or whatever is not there. You just have so much more time to do things you like. So I'm looking forward to a lot of knitting time as well, and I want to spend some more time with my blending board and I want to spin, and yeah, so I think this week should be hopefully pretty productive, even though it's again only a 4-day week because of the public holiday. And with that, I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm forgetting, but I can't think of anything right now. So, because right now our work schedules are kind of difficult, and sometimes my boyfriend is working from home, and sometimes he's in Munich, and sometimes he'll be in England. I don't really know when I'm going to record next, day-wise. I'm definitely going to record in about a week's time, but it might be the Sunday, it might be the Monday, I don't know. Probably the Monday. Yeah, I really don't know, but I don't think you guys care that much. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I feel like I'm kind of all over the place, and yeah, I say that every week. Every week I feel a little bit all over the place. I hope it wasn't too rambly. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want a prize, again, please get in touch with me. And just in general, I love hearing from you guys, so don't hesitate to drop a comment or a message if there's anything you want to say. So I hope you guys have an amazing week. I don't know if other countries have this day today as a public holiday as well. I really don't know, but yeah. I hope you have lots of fun and you achieve everything you want to achieve and you have lots of knitting time and maybe you can do some yarn buying damage. I definitely did. I've ordered quite a few things that should come this week, which is a little shameful but also makes me very happy. So guys, have a great week everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!